Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the shed. I know it's been a little while and I keep on saying that. But in the last video, you saw the problems that I had with getting this car running, with not getting fuel, which we fixed. And then since that time, I had a fuel leak. Took a little bit of time, but fixed that, and I had an oil leak. So I'll put in a clip now as to where the oil was coming from. Okay, you would have seen that clip in the world of YouTube. So what I did was I said, it's either going to be the oil pump or it's going to be the sump. So I said I'd do the easiest option first, and I dropped the sump and I changed the oil and I resealed it up, and then it ran perfect with no leaks, which was great. So finally we had a car that started, stopped, drove, everything fine, and I took it for a little drive, which I've no video of. Very, very little drive. And then when I came back, we discovered this.
Fuck! My life is ruined.
So let's get into the video and see what is going on now. Okay, so as we just discussed, we sealed up everything with no more leaks. And then immediately after driving the car, we had a new leak. And this one is different in a couple of ways. So it's now coming from the gearbox side. So as of right now, I've no idea, is it the engine that's leaking oil from the crank seal, or is it the gearbox? Now the night that I took the car for a drive, when I came back, I just said I'd look underneath, being the responsible grown-up that I am, just to see was anything leaking, and we saw that. So it kind of smelled like gearbox oil, and I don't know, can you see it on camera? It looks a bit darker, but when I checked it that night, when everything was hot, it was very silver. Kind of smells like nothing now, but it was very, very silver. So there's something major wrong. The gearbox is crunchy enough, to be fair, so it could be the gearbox that's gone. But then, like everything else, there's a million things going on in my head. I have an issue with the car that when I clutch it, the revs are dying, and sometimes the car is actually stalling when the clutch is pushed in. Checked everything, like on the idle air control valve side, changed out the idle air control valve. So with the original one, when I clutched, the car would die no matter what it did. I could rev it up and it would stay running, but it would always die. With this one, it wouldn't do it, at least not all the time. So I'm also thinking, do I have an issue with crank walk? Now, when I was sealing up the sump, I suppose I probably should have given a bit more of a look at it, but I checked to see were the thrust washers still there, which they are, and they're kind of there to hold the crank in place. So I don't know. Right now I don't know, but my plan is take everything apart again fairly much. I'm going to start and take all this stuff out. I'm going to drop the gearbox. Now, it was in my head to take the gearbox out anyway, because I could hear the release bearing making noise, which was a mistake on my part. I suppose panicked when things were going well and just threw in the gearbox and didn't really look over. Changed the oil in it, alright, but didn't look at the release bearer and didn't do anything, which I should have changed. But look, it doesn't matter, it has to come out now. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and get everything out, get the gearbox out, and then do a bit of an assessment and see where the hell this oil is coming from. I'm going to drop the oil out of the gearbox first and see, can I kind of see material in that? Because the oil that's in the car is brand new. If I don't have to drop that, I won't. But I should probably drop them both and see. But yeah, so bit of a disaster, to be fair, but shit happens. Gearbox was unknown to me. The engine really was unknown to me as well. It was built by, I suppose, my mate built the bottom end, I did the top half. But it was also an engine that I had bought where it had spun a bearing and was destroyed fairly much. I bought it in parts on a pallet, so unknown. Changed the crank in it and all that, but whatever. Let's get the camera set up and let's start taking this thing apart again. Awesome.
So let's get ready to work on it. To get a bit of anger, to challenge. It is, but it's crazy. Yeah, it is, because instead of fighters change. What do you notice? Well, obviously it's still a young sport. It's growing and growing. I don't know, like, so we have in our area, so we have one school, which is Bayshore, that has the girls wrestling team. And then the other schools, which she went to Iceland, all go there. So I coach girls wrestling. Yes. So, and right now that's growing. The whole sport's growing, it's amazing. It's great that girls get the opportunity to be in what I believe is the best sport. And it's awesome. Yeah. And they stay fair for free. The kids get to walk around and do all that. It was really cool.
And then they wrestled us for the people watching.
And then, yeah, so all those people are just walking by the state fair watching the duties.
See, that's really entertaining. Why not put something like that in a place routinely?
So I start work at the town at 7:30 to 4.
At the diesel again?
Yeah. And then
That's unbelievable.
and then
That's all we can ask. From a guy who doesn't accept nonsense, that's the most we can ask. Is there any other, are referees allowed to?
girls, when they do the drug test, they do. Well, you're allowed to blow a percentage.
In summary, pilots must avoid alcohol for at least 8 hours before a flight, maintain BAC below 0.04.
Yeah.
That's drunk in some states.
Yeah.
And not fly while hungover or impaired. Wow.
Yeah. So no, yeah. So I guess.
Oh my God, bro. They should have to blow it up in the front of the plane and show the number of the rest of the you know?
That's pretty crazy. So right on 8th Avenue. He's on the corner. And I say hello to him, and I go down, and get ready to go. And then I go to the Molly, then I eat usually the beef stew, and then get going. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of a creature of habit in some ways, you know?
Yeah, very much, you know, but I'm saying, I used the word criteria and whatever, but like I ref, but I had, when I was refing, I had 2 kidney stones and staples like in my stomach. I had so it's crazy story. I had my appendix out when I was like 22 and briefly, and it's a really.
Well, thank you so much for all your efforts, man. Thanks for continuing to just support wrestling, and I think it just, you being out there just inspires other young people to get into it and just having like so much history yourself in it. And yeah, thank you for letting us talk about your family and stuff today, man. And cheers to many more years of being on the journey, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
And you bet.
Thank you.
JRE. You're both on the same page. What do you mean by that?
Well, both. That was one of the craziest things about the Kanye thing, because Kanye lost his. Where do I know that name from? Where do I know his face? It didn't quite register, because I'm just thinking about, this debate that we're going to get into, and then after.
Right, this is where we are. I think I've everything done. I think I've all the bolts taken out, I've the starter taken out. Obviously battery, intake pipe and all that is out. The selectors are disconnected. The speedo cable is disconnected. Slave cylinder there is disconnected. So I have it slightly lower there, you can see. The mount is out, the mount at the back is out. So I think I'm gonna kind of try and get in underneath and just see, can I shake it out? And then see how bad the damage is. Now, as you probably saw, the gearbox oil looked fine coming out. So it could mean the engine is fucked, which is great. But yeah, all of that took me about 2 hours, which is amazing. For me, that's really good going. Now, it could take another 18 hours to actually get the gearbox out from where it is, but let's give it a go.
Doing an extreme sport or getting involved in a church. It could be anything, but there has to be something. If they're missing that, that's when they really struggle. That's one thing I've seen a lot of. So what is the protocol? Like, how do you handle, like, say if someone is leaving and they contact you and say, I know you left, I want to leave too. What are the steps you take to make sure they do find sort of a new purpose?
A lot of times just kind of asking them questions, like asking a lot of questions and seeing what they're interested in and finding those things, trying to help them find that sense of purpose. Because that's missing. So a lot of people say like when they've left,
To have this desire to help fix society, if you don't get involved. I'm not anymore, so I'll get involved in fixing it more.
Right, gearbox is out. Fairly easy, to be honest with you. I just took off this and it fairly much fell out after that. But the good and the bad news. So this looks totally fine, totally dry, and actually the release bearing doesn't even feel all that bad. But there was something definitely making noise. So if I smooth this, look how silver it is. You can see now there's all dirt and dust and stuff in there, but there's definitely, yeah. So our engine is probably goosed. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna see what I can see. But I'd say we're in big trouble. Right, clutch is off, flywheel's off. I genuinely haven't looked at this, so let's look at it together. Oh my god. And if anyone would like to sponsor a lift, that would be truly amazing. Right. Okay. Right. So I don't really know. You can see where all of the stuff is coming from. Now I wonder, I'm going to take off that cover, hang on. So potentially, and I could be completely wrong, we might have had a bit of a result. Okay, and I could be wrong, but maybe what happened is when I dropped the sump and sealed it back up, now this side isn't sealed, because that looks like where the oil had come from, and maybe the silverness to it is actually the material, the whatever it is, the sealant material actually maybe even being rubbed by the flywheel. So maybe I just didn't seal up this side right. So seeing as it's as apart as it is, what I'm going to do is, right, that's a bit of a result. Okay, I thought this would all just be absolutely destroyed. So I have to take off the sump anyway and potentially reseal it. And now that the gearbox and stuff is off, I can properly clean up all this side. And I'm going to give the gearbox a clean, do the release bearing. And while the sump is off again, I might properly have a look at the truss bearings, truss washers, and see, is there, I don't know, can it be done? But I know you can do a test to kind of test the tolerance on how much that moves. But yeah, shit, that's a bit of a result, I think. I'm going to give it a clean. Now it could be the seal as well, because that looks like it's on there a nice bit, and maybe not so much down here. So it could be the seal too, and maybe that is brand new, but it's brand new 4 years ago and sat in a dry engine. Doesn't feel too hard, but maybe while I'm here I'll change that for a few euro. Yeah, and I might try and figure out why this car is idling so high. I have a nice bit of access now to all these here. Okay, bear with me. Shit. Okay. That's a bit of a result. In fairness, I thought now I was going to find the engine being blown. So I'm happy with that. Gives me a chance to make this better, clean up all that. We can clean that, and maybe even if there's someone that I could find that might be able to open it and have a look at reconditioning it, we might do that. We'll do the release bearing. But yeah, not bad for a day's work, considering I have no idea what I'm doing, really. Yeah, I'm fair happy with that. We'll drop the oil, we'll do all that. My time has run out for today. We have the stuff done for a video. Actually, a more positive video than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I'm going to stay cracking on. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.